Anna Blender.
Thank you. Thank you so much, and thank you to the YLA to giving me an opportunity to speak to you today. It's an honor. And what I'm going to talk to you about today is actually not something that traditionally people think of as being very moral, right? I'm going to talk about marketing and advertising. I'm a marketing strategist, and my job is to use data and statistics to help my clients make better marketing decisions. Now, some would say that my job is to use data and statistics to manipulate people. That is a stereotype in advertising. But in fact, in my role, I have an imperative to make sure that what my clients are doing is authentic and driven by purpose and meaning. Now, it's not just kind of this personal interest of mine. It actually determines the success or failure of a lot of my clients. So to take a step back, my company's job is to help our clients optimize the value that their brand brings to their company. What is a brand exactly? So it's a pretty ambiguous term, but really a brand is about the relationship that a company has with its customers. So think about Coca-Cola, right? Coca-Cola is just brown sugar water, right? Yet all of us at some point have spent an exorbitant amount of money for a can of Coke. And that's brand, right? That's what a brand is all about. And if Coca-Cola, the brand, went away and the company that made that brown sugar water continued to exist, it would kind of be not very valuable. So in doing our work recently, we found that there are some companies that are doing a better job of driving value through their brands. And we decided at BAV that we wanted to look at, what was that it factor, right? What was the source? And we found, in fact, that that it factor was meaning and purpose, okay? Companies that are driven by meaning and purpose in an authentic and differentiated way have a 26% higher brand strength than companies that don't do as good of a job. And that actually translates into an average financial outperformance of up to 45%, okay? Pretty big numbers. So why are these, really lofty goals? Getting companies to do good for the world, to care about their people. Why all of a sudden are they becoming imperatives from a financial perspective? And the answer is actually you guys, okay? We went out at BAV and we did some research to try to understand, evolving people's perceptions of brands and their values as consumers. And we found that there's this new group of people emerging and growing really quickly called Generation World. Okay, Generation World is a group of really well-connected people, people that like to talk to each other, like to spread information. They also love to shop, right? They love brands, and they feel that brands are their way of expressing their unique identity. But they're also extremely conscientious. Not in the traditional sense necessarily, right? These aren't the people that are out there, going and hugging trees like you think in the traditional sense, but they're buying from companies that they know are out hugging trees. So what happens is these people, they love to shop, they have a lot of money, they're a gold mine for any marketer. But to go after them, your company needs to prove out that you actually have a purpose and that you're driven by value. And so what's happening is Generation World is making an impact on the way that companies do business, and then in the grand scheme of things on the world itself. And essentially, they are shopping in a way that's informed by their values and really voting with their wallet instead of a traditional ballot. And that's an extremely powerful thing that's emerging as a real game changer in the world. And you guys as the future, right, as entrepreneurs, you're a part of that. And that's something I always remind people, keep that in mind, the power that you have as consumers. So we know that companies are now being forced to change, and keeping that in mind, I was recently thinking, there must be new applications to this. And we actually recently started thinking about this approach to brand management from a new perspective. We started thinking about countries as brands. What if Argentina or Kenya, thought of itself as a Coca-Cola as it was managing its brand? What if there is a country that could be the next Google or Starbucks? We actually have a lot of data, as you might be able to guess. We went into the data and we tried to understand, is that true? And we found, in fact, that it is. We found that a country's brand is highly predictive of its national value and actually drives that national value, including GDP, things like travel, foreign direct investment. And we found that companies that really invest in their people and treat their people well have higher brand value. We also found that brands, that countries just like brands that are visionary and innovative and promote entrepreneurship also have a higher brand value. So, you know, all these discoveries, it really prompted us to try to make this a bigger thing, to get countries to care more about themselves as brands. And we actually recently embarked on a revolutionary study about countries as brands and trying to understand people's perception and hold countries accountable for the things that they were doing. We're actually launching the results of the study at Davos in 2016, which I'm really excited about. We're partnering with the US News and World Report and Wharton University. But what I'm really hoping comes out of this is a shift in conversation in the way that governments think of themselves, right? Because now is the time when the lines between industry and government are really starting to get blurred. You know, it's when young people have started looking to private corporations to protect their interests the way that traditionally they've been looking to companies, to governments to do. And also, as we're becoming more global, you know, we see here that the borders are really getting erased, right? So there's this new imperative for governments to think of themselves in the way that's going to create value for their people, and we really believe that the way to do that is to think of themselves as brands. And we know, right, that the successful brands are the ones that are driven by purpose and meaning. So if there's anything you can take away today is whether you're in private industry and you're an entrepreneur or you work for a government, you know, approach everything as a business, right, and know the business is headed in a more moral way. It's headed towards innovation and towards vision and ultimately towards greater good for all of us. So thank you very much and enjoy the rest of the presentations. They have been amazing.